Brian is our next guest at High Times in Eureka on this week's episode. He is a customer who we found writing the next great American novel, or more likely, screenplay.
His first novel was written at 4 years of age.
Did he type it?
Or perhaps he dictated it. T.J. Tyne, are you listening? You need to play this character.
Good afternoon. We are at Old Town Coffee and Chocolates in Eureka, California. And my next guest, Brian, will introduce himself and we'll get started. Brian.
Hi there. My name is Brian Beneventi. I'm a local author, self-published one novel. I currently work as a production assistant at a local news station.
What is it about here in the Old Town Coffee and Chocolates that kind of draws you in here?
It's a cozy place, and I started to write, and I would go to coffee shops. And
what was it about the vibe that was in the coffee store that kind of got your creative juices flowing? And then tell me a little bit about the kind of writing that interests you.
Usually there's just a very relaxed environment. The vibe of the music that's usually played at a coffee shop is just pretty chill, mixed with just the stimulation of coffee, and yeah, it was just a good blend.
You know, it's interesting. We had an author last season, and he and I chatted about this. I don't think we actually chatted on the air about this. He said, well, you know, I can't work in my apartment. He said, I don't get good ideas. For some reason, I have to go where there's more activity, it's noisier, etc. Is that part of your process as well, or is there something different than that?
It's really related to my budget, to be honest. You know, if I had a lot more money, I would probably go to coffee shops every day, twice a day. But because I have a budget, I can't. So I've learned to be able to work from home.
So writers have different little idiosyncrasies, is what I've been told, as far as what they have to do. Some famous writers only will have one Oreo before they start their latest novel. Do you have any idiosyncrasies that have gotten you to kind of get those juices flowing, or does it just kind of happen?
That's a great question. You got to motivate yourself. You got to be excited about something, and if you're not, then you really don't have a reason to write.
So it's got to have this. You got to have the subject matter first, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Let's start with your first book. What was the subject matter, and how did you decide that was going to be the material for your first novel?
Okay. You know, writing was something I always really enjoyed. Like, I grew up watching movies. I'm obsessed with movies. You know, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, Star Wars. So I had an assignment in this writing class to create a short story about a character and to think about their wants and their needs and their desires. And so I created the first novel came out of that. It was basically just a story about, you know, a 17-year-old high school student who was a cross-country runner and didn't have a father, and he needed to have that void filled in his life somehow. Running Out of Lies, it's self-published on Amazon.com and for sale in 3 bookstores. This summer I finished my second novel, which is a murder mystery. It's an adult novel, not young adult, but it's something I'm really proud of because I lost my own father in 2015 to cancer, so it was kind of my way of processing his passing. I have a list of agents I'm going to query to. Querying is just the term for submitting to an agent who will then submit the book to a publishing company for me.
And do you have a title for this one?
Yes. So this one is called 4 and 20 Blackbirds, which is part of a nursery rhyme. And it's the first of a trilogy. And each title in the trilogy is going to be another section taken from that rhyme.
And do you see this turned into a movie?
Oh my God, yes. Like I said, I'm obsessed with movies, and so whenever I'm writing a story, I always imagine it first as a movie.
You write it visually?
Yes, I'm very, very visual. With my first one, I already have one actor I picked out who I want to play one of the main characters, and unfortunately it's just taking a very long time for it to get off the ground, and hopefully that actor will still be the age I want him to be to play this character. So I took all references out of the story to his age, just in case I can get this actor.
So if he happens to be listening to the podcast, you want to give a name of who this actor might be?
Yes. His name is TJ Thine. I think I'm saying that correctly. He played on the show Bones. He played the character of Jack Hodgins.
A shout out to him if he's listening. So we believe everybody in the country has a story to tell, and I'm wondering if you have a story you could share with us.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is going far back, but I was 4 or 5, so I didn't know, I wasn't educated in how to write in words, I would just get ideas, and I would have to ask my mom to, write them down for me, and, be my, dictate to my mom, and, I had, my crayons and paper, so I would draw a lot, I would draw the X-Men, because that's what I grew up watching, that cartoon show, and I still have these drawings in crayon. At age 5, I created a story about a brother, sister. The brother was a little crazy, and so this character was called Psycho, and was a criminal, I think, and his sister was Psyche, and so she was kind of the rational one, psychiatrist, and then her brother is guy with a dark past who's an ex-criminal or lives in an insane asylum, and they're just trying to find a relationship with each other and reconnect.
Now, did you get commentary on this story from your mom or from anyone else? Did she say, I'm worried you're writing characters at age 5 about Psycho, or did she say, wow, this is really brilliant?
I think she was just supportive in everything I did. I don't think she was worried. If she was worried, she never voiced it.
How about music now? We want to talk a little bit about your favorite piece of music and song and why.
My favorite song is Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy. My mom is a musician. She plays the piano. So she would play that song at home, and it would just from a young age, I'd feel emotionally moved by that song. And it would just give me chills. And I remember seeing the movie Ocean's 11, and that song's at the very end. With my dad, he would burn CDs, and we would take fishing trips together, and we would listen to them in the car. And so John Mayer's second album, Room for Squares, makes me think of my dad. I guess the song Father and Son by Cat Stevens, which was masterfully used in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. That song makes me cry.
And last question is related to your craft. Do you have a favorite book, favorite author, and why?
Lord of the Rings. The bond that two friends can have. And I think Lord of the Rings captures that perfectly, just friendship.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.